Hello, today I've got a new speed paint for you. I actually got inspiration from another artist here on YouTube called DrawingWiffWaffles. She does this series on her channel where she draws a favorite character from each letter of the alphabet, and as someone who's constantly looking for inspiration and for new things to draw, that sounded like a really fun idea, so here I am with the first letter of the alphabet, A. I chose Ariel. She wasn't actually my first choice, but all of my other choices, I either only picked them because I wanted to represent the show they were in, and I decided I'd only do one character from each show, or I don't know, I just liked other characters better and decided not to do them. And originally Ariel wasn't the princess I was going to draw. I was going to do Mulan, but I had a different character for M, and Ariel's my second favorite Disney princess, so I figured I'd draw her. Here you can see me doing the sketch. I struggled a lot with her hair, mainly because her reference image, she's facing a different direction than the direction I started drawing her in, and for some reason I just could not work out her hair, and I was like, I could just look up a reference image of her facing this way instead of the one I have, but then I realized I could actually just rotate the flip the canvas and save myself all that struggle, so that's what I ended up doing. Here I am tweaking her face. I wanted the style of this picture to be sort of a fusion between my style and the Disney style that she's normally drawn in, because I wanted her to be recognizable, but I also wanted it to be one of my own pieces. Ariel as a character, she wasn't always one of my favorite Disney characters. I first watched the Little Mermaid movie probably when I was really little, and then I just didn't think of it for a while. And then when I was a little older, one of my grandparents got me this book of the original Hans Christian fables, and I read the Little Mermaid one, and it was one of the versions where she dies at the end. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so sad. Isn't there a Disney movie about this? That must be so depressing. How can they make a movie where the main character dies at the end? And so I just had it fixed in my head that Ariel dies at the end of the movie, and it wasn't until years later that I saw the movie again that I was like, oh my god, she doesn't die, this is a miracle. Because the original fairy tale just broke me, you guys. And I forgot to record at several moments in this video. The first one is when I'm actually doing the hand. Here I had an idea. Again, I should have looked up just a reference image, but I didn't. And so, yeah, you don't see the part where I drew the hand. I also fixed up a couple of things. Here I am working out the colors. When I was doing the background, I wanted a simple background, so I just wanted a sort of gradient, and it looked better when I drew the gradient lighter at the bottom and darker at the top, so I figured it would also be cool if I drew Ariel with the lighting coming from downwards, which would have been a cool idea, but I didn't pick a light source for this, so the lighting's just sort of all over the place, and I tried to fix that. It still came out a little weird. Oh, here I'm trying to pick colors for the line art before I actually do any shading, which I ended up not using any of these colors at all, so that was a good spending of my time. And then I wanted to cheat when I was doing the liner and just select and erase, which would have worked fine if I used the right select settings, but I didn't, and so I had skin all over in places I didn't want it to be. I had to go through and just re-erase everything. It might have been better if I just wasn't such a lazy artist and just actually drew the skin in normally, but I didn't. And then I left the line art for the hair open because I wanted a flowiness. And it kind of worked out. I think I overworked that part of the hair later on in the picture, but it's okay. And getting the music for this was also a struggle, mainly because my brain's clearly not working. I knew there was a lot of island type music on the Google Music library, but I couldn't remember the right word for it, and I kept searching up nautical and nothing was coming up that sounded like I wanted it to. And I was like, why isn't this working? And I was looking up all these ocean related words like ocean and sea, and nothing was coming up. And I literally woke up out of a dead sleep and was like, tropical, the word I was looking for is tropical. Found all this music, which worked just fine. Only took me 4 days to do it. Here I'm doing the shading. and I decided to go for a blue lighting again because it's in the sea. Also, another thing that was great in theory, but I think I don't have enough practice with other types of lighting. Like, I usually just do a soft yellow lighting like the sky, but I was like, no, let's do blue, it'll be cool. And so yeah, I had to tweak the colors a lot. Oh, here's another part where I forgot to record. In a minute here, you'll see the I suddenly jump from being barely done to completely done. Yeah, look at that, because I cannot remember to press the record button, and also can't speak English, apparently. And yeah, more blue lighting, which, I don't know if it really worked. For the hair, I was doing a purple shading for the skin, so I decided I'd do a purple shading for the hair, and it wasn't as vibrant orange as I wanted it to, so eventually I go over it with orange again, which actually worked out alright. It gives it sort of like this glowing look, and I think it looks cool, personally. And yeah, if you ever see the video glitching out, that is because I've discovered after my Peridot video where I was like, oh, is my tablet dying? No, my computer's dying. Like, every single time in this picture that I went to save, Psy crashed. And just every time I went through a panic of, is my picture gonna be gone or corrupted? And thank the Lord, it never was. Oh, here I'm coloring the bra. I actually like how the coloring on this turned out. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the piece, like out of all the things here. But yeah, anyways, my computer's dying, so that's good to know. I think part of it might just be the recording program I have. I might start looking for better programs in general, but especially for like recording video, because it's just not doing it, you guys. Like, if you see occasionally there will be like these black boxes, that's the recording program just not doing its job well. Oh yeah, and the fork in the hair. I thought it would be really cute if she had like both her arms up adjusting her hair, but you can't see her second arm at all, so it looks like she's just missing an arm. Like, I went back over off camera and tried to add in an elbow or reposition the arm, and none of it looked right because of how I have it positioned, so I'd have to like completely redraw that entire part. So I figured, you know, she's got an arm, it's just hiding. And then I'm adding in some yellow lighting because I did not like how the blue lighting was looking. I thought about going over the fin to add more details, so I actually like how smooth that part of her is, because that way it brings more focus to her face, which I want to be the focal point of the picture. Here I'm adding in the A because, again, it's an alphabetical series, and for some reason I had her squished way too far to the right, and so the A didn't fit correctly. I had to like tweak it to make it fit. It still looks crooked, but that's okay. I tried adding in a shadow, but again, I didn't pick a light source, so I wasn't sure how the shadow was supposed to go, and I think I ended up just foregoing the whole shadow thing. Like, there's sort of a shadow, but it's much more like vague. The idea of a shadow is probably there. And then some bubbles just to add to the scenery, and that's about it for this piece. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.